Hello everyone. I've been playing around with the environment query system EQS in Unreal Engine 5, and I've experienced one issue trying to use it. So what I want to do is use an EQS query to find places that are in water. Now I have my EQS testing pawn here where I've tried to make an EQS query, but as you can see, it's not finding points inside water. It's basically saying all of these points are not in water. So if we take a quick look at the query I have, it just generally makes a circle, then it checks each point if it's inside a water body. So this is a built-in test for the query that already exists, at least if you have the water plugin, and you can see it here inside water body. But as you can see, it doesn't really work, and it's made to work with this water, which is just the standard Unreal Engine plugin water. I can make it kind of work if I move my testing pawn down enough, and now you can see it's saying these points are in water. They get a score of 1.0, but also these points outside are in 1.0. So I think maybe the issue here is that I'm on an island and I have an ocean around me, and somehow that's causing the EQS to think that anything below the surface level is inside water. So I wanted to show how you can make a custom EQS tester that will test water in a different way. Yes, so for making custom EQS tests, you need to do it in C++. There's no way to do it in Blueprints. So what I have here is basically my simple water one. I call it WT inside water. Now this prefix here is something that is a prefix that's usually put on these ones, on these tests. Once you're inside the blueprint or inside the engine itself, this prefix will disappear. So just put this prefix in front, and that's good to go. One thing you need to do before you will get this to compile properly is you need to go into your build.cs file, and you need to add this AI module. Otherwise you'll get linker errors, which I struggled with for a while. Yes. So this class here, I basically based it on the other built-in one for inside water body we saw. So I copied this and simplified it a bit. I removed the stuff I didn't need. I defined a water level. So actually the way this test works, as we'll get to see, is it basically just testing the height of the point being hit. So if we look at the implementation I have here, this run test method is one thing you need to implement. You need to implement a constructor and a run test and a description. So for the run test, what you basically want to return is setting a score. So for this case, what we have is basically just a Boolean type of test. You can also have a numerical test, but this is just a Boolean one. So you tell it whether we want this Boolean to be true or false, and what we actually found it to be. So when you make a run test like this, you need to loop over all the points found. These are basically all the dots you see in the circle. It'll loop over all of those. You can get the location of the dot, but this location here is not actually the surface. It's just at the height of the curia. So initially I tried using the height of this point, but that doesn't work for the same reason that the other water tester didn't work. So I basically initialize my return value, whether this point is in water or not, and I basically just do a simple line trace from the location of the dot minus and just straight down, basically 10,000 units down. Once I've done that, I check if we've hit something. Probably we'll have hit the ground, and then I just set my return value basically to whether this hit location's height is below the water level, and that's it. Yeah. So if we go back into our EQS query here, I can remove this test here that doesn't work, and I can add now, after you compile, I can add my new test. And this basically all works. This Boolean match is whether you want it to be in water or not, and that's the expected values we saw in the code. And we want it to be in water, of course. And if I go back here, we suddenly see now that my EQS query is identifying whether each point is in water or not. So that's how you do it. Yeah, so I recommend start by copying this thing here, or another of the EQS tests that are inside the engine. You can also, of course, copy the CPP file here. Make sure you have the included AI module, and you should be good to go. Thank you for watching.